this crow was wandering around the park, like on the grass, walking around, pecking here, pecking there. And then when he got to this part under the tree, we can see that the terrain changes. You see all of the twigs and leafies that are there collecting under the tree, which actually are a very high nutrient. So once the crow got to this part, now he left. But he didn't leave for a long time. There's another crow left right there. Right there. Anyway, he didn't leave for a long time. And even though, he found some food and he was pecking here and pecking there under the tree, but he didn't leave the canopied area. And it made me think that it's also like the Christian faith, in the sense that or at least with my experience, before I arrived at the faith, I was trying this, trying that, and then I arrived at the faith, and it was really hard for me to arrive at the faith because I had a lot of what's the word? I viewed the faith in a particular manner, and yeah, I was just very, very resistant to it, and I saw it as, I guess, like, why would you do it if it doesn't really change your life? I went to a Catholic high school, and I didn't really see much that the people were showing me, like, reasons why I would want to follow all these, like, rules and not be different than other people. And then there was more to it of why I was hesitant. But the thing is, like, once I was baptized into Christianity, I haven't gone elsewhere. And it's hard to explain, but it's like, I guess, maybe like the crows when they were walking around here and there on the open field, once they got to the tree, because I was observing them for a while, and they were like pecking for a while. Like, they would spend a lot of time in one place under the tree and just and then shuffle over like a foot, and then and spend a lot of time there, and they would start finding insects. And observing them, I was thinking, I guess to an extent I can relate, because once I got to the Christian faith, it's like, I don't know, it's almost like you feel that you found something, and you still have to dig around, but it's like there's something holding you there, and there's, I guess it's what the Bible calls a spirit man, actually, because once you believe that Jesus is who he said he was, then that's when you become a born-again believer, and that's when the Holy Spirit comes and dwells inside of you. So maybe that's what it was. It's like, once I came to the faith, even though it was very, very, like, my faith was very dug up, it had a lot of layers, and I tend to think a lot. Also, going to university really trained me to be critical and to be careful with being brainwashed. So I came with like heavy resistance, and I'm still fighting aspects of those to this day. But but anyway, but still, like, once I got to Christianity, even though it was hard for me to think like I'm back with Jesus, because when I went to Catholic school, Jesus was introduced to me as a concept, and as a story, like the story of the Bible, like different stories in the Bible, but everything felt like it was just presented like a story, so it wasn't personal. It was just like a story, cartoons, yeah, just, you know how a story's told. It's there's like a separation depending on how you tell it, but it's different to tell of an account than to tell of a story. I think a story usually it's it's just told in a way that seems a little like not a reality. And so yeah, so then when I went back to Christ, but through Christianity, through a different approach. I mean, different approach for me. The approach that we had in the Catholic school was different than the approach that I was taught in the Christian church. So when I came back to Jesus, it was really hard for me, like really, really hard for me, because I had decided within myself that I like this Jesus character is no, I'm not interested. And even like with some anger, in that rejection, in that resistance or rejection, I should say. And there was a disinterest and yeah, just like a repulsion to that path. So anywho, when I came back to Jesus, I still had these hesitations, but I was compelled to step in the path and compelled inside. And even I had my mom at the time, she was really like pushing me on, oh, like you should go get baptized. She was newly baptized and she was really pushing me to go get baptized. And even though I already had some sort of inclination to consider Jesus again, because I was in a pretty rough state in my life, I withheld. I would say, well, primarily or largely as an act of resistance to my mom, because I didn't want, I guess, to give her the gratification or to feel that she pushed me successfully. So I guess I was rebellious in that sense. But, it wasn't just rebellion because I just feel like being rebellious to anybody. There's a history. So yeah, I guess I felt like my mom was trying to control me in a lot of times in my life, and I wanted to protect my my agency. So yeah, so when it came to faith, it was no different. I was very like, no, I don't, like, I'm not gonna do this for her, and I don't want her to control me. So I actually stepped back a bit just to just because she was insisting, it made me resist even more. And then but eventually I became quite just in so much pain inside. So I said, in turmoil. So I said, okay, like, I'm doing this for me. And there's a whole story that goes with that, but that's, I guess, for another time. But so I did it for me, and even though I still couldn't understand, like, why am I here, I'm back with, Jesus as a guide, and I, like, logically doesn't make sense to me, and I have to be careful. I'm scared I'm gonna be brainwashed. I don't want to be brainwashed. And so I came with a lot of resistance still, and that lasted for over 10 years, even after I was baptized into the Christian faith. But yet, throughout all of that, even though I had this hesitation, even though for 10 years after I was baptized, maybe even a little over 10 years, after I was baptized, I was still not, like, I think God was guiding me, and he was really trying to lift me up, but my choices were still, I was not taking God into account. I was still, I was not being careful to try to follow God's ways. I wasn't. I was still very much the one who decided, like, what am I gonna do, what am I not gonna do. So yeah, but even so, I didn't look anywhere else, and I just kept on wanting to know God more, and I felt like there was something compelling me inside, and I guess, like I said at the beginning, that it must have been the Holy Spirit that had come into me and was compelling me to stick around and explore a little more, and giving me that hunger to keep on digging, just like these crows. They were digging, and once they got under the tree, it's like, ooh, gold mine. And they just, even though, like, they would peck, and they might not find something, but they didn't just, like, toss away that piece of bark that they found, or toss away that shell, like, whatever it is that they were tossing. When they were walking on the grass, they would find something, and then just, like, it's almost like they just kept walking as they were pecking and throwing it away, kept walking, pecking. Like, it was like their legs were always walking forward, but once they got to the tree, they actually got stationary, and they kept on digging in one place, and they actually ended up finding several critters. From what it looks like, I mean, I don't know if they were critters, but from what it looks like, and I don't know, maybe, like, 5 meters, 5, 6, 7 meters away from them, from what I could see, there would be something in their mouth, and you could see them throwing something back like they were swallowing. So yeah, interesting. So what I want to get to again is that it's, my walk with Christianity has been, I don't understand it at this point, and I didn't understand it for a long time, to the extent that I would want to the extent that my hunger desires to, and there was still a lot of logical reasons why I should just drop and leave the faith, and but, like, it's like there was just always been something that just keeps me staying under the tree of Christ, and to keep searching, even if I don't get the answer, even if I just don't understand to the extent that I want to understand, I'm still compelled to remain and explore. And there's been times when I question that, and I've thought, like, I've thought, why am I why am I still lingering here? Like, I could just give up and, but but I'm still here. So I guess the Spirit of God is, what's the word? Confirming? Yeah, maybe. Confirming with my spirit, that I found something precious in the faith. And so I just keep on looking.